Good evening, YouTube. My name is MasterofRoflness, and I'm here to give you guys a Planetary Annihilation game between players Cumsume and BurntCustard. Now, BurntCustard over here going for the standard build of mechs power plant, and then another mech over here is going to be facing off against his opponent. We'll be going for a similar build, mechs power plant, and another mechs afterwards. Now, it seems like Cumsume has a little bit of an advantage because he has a third mechs over here, which is fairly close, and a fourth mechs over here, which is also pretty close. Whereas BurntCustard is a little bit in a disadvantage because his nearest mechs is over here, over here, over here, and over here, as well as over here. Oh, and for good measure, over here, over here, over here, and basically the entirety of the rest of the planet. So BurntCustard has the unfortunate decision of being able to first either walk as a commander to the mechs, which will take a long time, or build a very fast factory and then get some fabricators out, which will also take a long time to build the mechs. And instead, he's going for the hard decision of getting a very fast factory first, and then getting fabricators, and then going out to getting the mechs. So, BurntCustard already in a pretty bad situation, pretty bad start. Has to do a bit of walking, blah blah. Mr. Blue over here, taking the leisure way, a leisure stroll, so to speak, through Planetary Annihilation metal factories and metal mechs. Over here, he's getting a skitter really fast, so he will be able to probably use the skitter to destroy and basically delete these mechs from existence, which is actually pretty good for him, as it will put him in an even better advantage. And if he destroys BurntCustard out very, very early on in the game, then BurntCustard will never, ever, ever be able to catch up with Blue's already massive, massive growth in economic supremacy. But unfortunately, Cumsume over here, very, very blind. Very, very blind indeed. Instead of going to the left, where he should have, he's going to go down south to find Santa Claus. Unfortunately, there is no Santa Claus on the moon. There's only death and metal. So, Cumsume, or rather, BurntCustard is going to be in a more favorable position, whereas Cumsume will obviously lose the advantage that he could have taken if he moved a little bit towards the left and attacked some of BurntCustard's mechs. So now BurntCustard will be able to probably get some mechs with the fabricators. So that's good for BurntCustard. Getting on a quick docks, maybe BurntCustard instead exchange hands with Mr. Cumsume, maybe trade some mechs for some doxes, and destroy some of Cumsume's advantages in terms of metal production. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what these players are thinking. I'm not the Kama Sutra. I'm not the Confucius of Planetary Annihilation. I like to be the Confucius of Planetary Annihilation because he has a pretty mighty beard. I think he'd probably have sex with that beard. Just use that beard instead of his penis and then just impregnate. I should stop talking now. Anyway. So Avatar sex jokes aside, some power plants going on for Cumsume. He's not spreading out as much as he should. Now, the reason why you should be spreading out your base as early as possible is because if one attack comes very, very early on in the game, then that could actually hamper you severely. And one good attack against three power plants that are right next to each other is basically like a Artosis pylon of the StarCraft 2 days, and it will severely hamper your economic growth. Whereas if you spread them out, if one power plant goes down, there's not like a domino effect right next to your power plant, which is actually pretty good. It seems over here, Blue is able to grab a nice metal field over here, so that's good for him. That's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 metal spots, potentially a 7th. So already, even though BurntCustard was doing pretty good in his expansion, he's still not able to catch up with Cumsume, and that's going to really hurt him. Maybe this docks will be able to do something, as right now Cumsume doesn't really have any military units to defend his base. He is getting an air factory, but from my knowledge, I don't think scouts are really good against doxes. But then again, who knows? This is Planetary Annihilation, the game of alpha, beta, and all the glitches galore. Over here we see Skitter. Skitter's going to come down, do some harass. The Skitter should focus on the doxes, because if the Skitter focuses on the doxes, that could severely hamper BurntCustard's growth over here, and that will be pretty good for the Skitter, as well as the Cumsume overall. And instead the Skitter is going to ignore those two doxes. That's a big, big missed opportunity that he could have gotten over there. I can't believe that he's not actually going to pursue these doxes. If he killed off one of these doxes, then he could stop BurntCustard's spread over here, stop him from getting these fields, and then potentially kill off these metal points. Maybe he was scared of the scout plane. I'm not sure. I think that was a little bit stupid of him. So right now, I kind of actually missed it, but fortunately, BurntCustard failed in his attack of the metal spot. But he was a little bit more successful because he's able to slowly and slowly whittle down this max point all the way to, you know, 1/4 of its health, which is pretty good. However, what's not good is that he lost the docks in the process due to a scout plane. So already we can see that 1 kill for Mr. Cumsume and 1 death for Mr. BurntCustard. BurntCustard has lost the unit. It's over. It's GG. He should just surrender right now. But no, he won't, because he's a brave, strong man. And he killed off a scout plane in revenge and retaliation. Vehicle factory coming out from BurntCustard. Something good is going to happen. Something wicked will come its way. And a vehicle factory is coming out from Cumsume. I think Cumsume should invest in probably a single missile turret or maybe a single laser turret in order to defend against an incoming attack from BurntCustard, as BurntCustard will be able to get out a tank or an ant faster than you can say, faster than the speed of light. Ah, there we go. That was a good analogy. Unfortunately, the Skidder has been cursed with a plague known as I can't shoot anything in sight because my accuracy sucks. And look at that, the Doxes also suffered the same fate, but they're able to quickly kill off the Skidder because the Skidder was standing still and the Doxes were moving fast. And if the laws of reality apply to us, then anything that moves closer to us will be easier to target. So there you go. Pelter coming out from Mr. BurntCustard, so he's going to be aggressively expanding over here, destroying the mechs field as well as the 2 vehicle factories coming down. I don't know why Cumsume's not getting a missile turret to deal with the scouting, nor do I understand why he's not getting any turret defenses, but I guess that will be his problem. Right now he's expanding rapidly all across the map and unhindered as well in his growth. We can already see a couple of factories coming down, so he could be potentially planning to outproduce Orange in the long run. However, Orange has a lot of proxy factories all over the place, so he does have multiple avenues to attack from. He can attack from over here, and he could attack from over here as well. So that's pretty good for him. He also has 2 factories over here. So while Mr. Blue has a lot of his factories stationed in one area of the map, and he can just clump them up together a lot more efficiently, Mr. Orange has a lot more avenues to attack from, which is pretty good for him. Good for raiding, so if he builds out, like, I don't know, 3 Skidders, he could potentially kill this entire mech field, which he should. He should really be raiding a lot more because he has the advantage of multiple avenues of attack, so I'm not sure why he's not using it. He is aggressively using his fucking commander right now. Holy shit, Mr. Badass Rambo over here, gonna go in, potentially killing off a huge amount of vehicle factories, fabricators, and mechs over here, and possibly even hindering Orange's progress over here in the long run for the entirety of this game, if he's not stopped. And unfortunately, he's not stopped. Blue is not countering this whatsoever. He's going to lose not 1, not 2, but 3. Counted 3 for the price of 1 commander. Another tank goes down as well. Holy shit. This is some fucking grade A pussy right here, gentlemen. And right now, it seems like Cumsume doesn't have the tampon to clear up the blood that's coming through it. 1, 2, 3. Bam. Another factory goes down. Pretty bad loss for him. However, Pelter is coming up. I'm not sure if a Pelter is the direct counter to a commander. It's not like you can get out an Exodia card to win this match, kiddos. You need to get out a bunch of Exodias. See that the Doxes are over here in position to attack some of Blue's mech's points. However, he's not really using them. I think Orange actually forgot about these Doxes. But the Fabricators, they're stupid. No! Wait, Doxes, if you just stood still, you're gonna kill these 2 fabricators. Turn around, turn the fuck around. They're right over there. Look at that. Oh. Damn it. Seems like Mr. Blue is gonna go over here and scout out some of Orange's mechs. There is a Dox. However, ants are kind of better than Doxes in terms of accuracy and tracking right now. So 1 ant versus 1 Dox, the ant will obviously win due to range and accuracy. However, it's fairly easy to send down 2 or 3 Doxes to go take care of this ant. But this ant will be able to kill off the mechs, slowly but surely. I hope that he notices. Orange, it seems, does not notice. However, he has bigger plans. Mechs for mechs? I see that's a good plan. Blue's going for a tier 2 vehicle factory. That's potentially really good in the long run of this game. He has enough resources to produce tier 2 levelers. And he has probably enough resources to get out another tier 2 factory if he wanted to. Another 1 Dox goes down. 2 Doxes go down. Oh, Guadalupe! It's done. Goal. Huge amount of ants are over here, as well as a huge amount of Doxes. I'm not sure why he's not pushing out all across the map in order to try and stop Blue's unhindered growth, but he knows a new meta strategy when he sees it, so I'm not going to judge him. He's already lost 2 mechs over here. That's a big shame. He should really send down these Doxes and just go ahead and clear out this ant, because this ant right now is doing some damage. 2 mechs might not be a lot, But in the grand scheme of things, when you're playing on a planet with not a lot of mexes, one mex could be the difference between getting a band-aid on your skin and getting like a titanium armor set. And honestly, I'd rather have the titanium armor set because having a band-aid is kind of crap. So right now, it seems like Orange isn't going for tier 2 at all, which actually is really bad for him. If his opponent is going for tier 2, and if his opponent has a lot more tier 1 buildings, as well as tier 2 buildings, then he's going to be in a bad position. So already we can see that the advantage is going towards blue, due to the fact that he has unhindered growth all over the place. He has a lot of factories, a lot more factories, and he has the tier 2 coming out. However, some boxes coming out from Mr. Orange, going to go and kill off some of Blue's bases over here, some of his buildings. Going to be a little bit of a nuisance, killing off a mech and a power plant. So it shouldn't matter too much, but the commander over here, oh my god, couldn't even save the factory. I mean, the fabricator. This commander is basically a failed Batman right now. Look at this. The accuracy on this commander is glorious. Oh, I had to use the D-gun. Of course you had to use the D-gun. Massive amount of ants are coming over here. And right now, if these ants hit this base at the right time, at the right place, right now, over here, potentially over here, then he could annihilate huge chunks of Cumsume's initial base right now, which would unfortunately hamper his energy growth as well as his factory growth in the long run, which is actually pretty good. Pretty good for Orange. However, instead of doing that, he's going to go down over here and kill off 3 ants, or maybe just move over here and try to kill off the commander, which he shouldn't because he probably doesn't have a lot of ants to deal with the commander. In fact, the commander could probably kill off all these ants and be at half HP, so he shouldn't really kill the commander. He should go for the base. He is pushing out, and he's going to push out over here and potentially try to grab the tier 2 building, but I'm not sure if that's a wise decision. I assume that he does see this sort of massive push of units, especially with these interceptors rolling around. So he does know about this blue push. Now the question is, what will he do to counter it? We see the tier 2 advanced air factory. That's an ingenious strategy to pull out, especially against mass waves of ants. And here we go, the massive push, the big kahuna, the Mongol invasions have now begun. Will he be able to kill off this factory? Nah, no, yes, no, I don't know. One factory does go down, another factory goes down. Oh my god. It seems like Blue's production is getting hampered a bit. Another fabricator, 1 fabricator, 2 fabricator, metal point, energy storage. Oh, the commander coming out just in the nick of time to save that energy storage. But will he be able to kill off an energy plant? Will he be able to? Oh, look at the ants go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, the energy plant does go down. But a ton of ants have gone down in the process as well. But over here, we see that Blue is beginning his counterattack. The massive push begins. The Chinese will now retake Mongolia and will retake back China. 1 energy plant does go down, and then another mech goes down. Will an energy plant go down? Yes, another energy plant does go down. Will a mech go down? Yes, a mech will go down. Mechs, energy plant, mechs, energy plant. Orange's already destroyed economy is being pummeled to death by bullet after bullet from these vicious ant troops. Energy storage does go down as well. A factory will go down, and that will hinder his air interceptor growth quite a bit, which was the only advantage that Orange really had in the grand scheme of this game. So large amount of buildings that has been lost right now will severely hamper him, and honestly speaking, he should really take back this region as soon as he possibly can. He does have a counterattack over here with some doxes and ants, combining their strengths and weaknesses together to form an impenetrable attack force that will ultimately decide the fate of the universe. In fact, he's using the doxes potentially to try and go ahead and scout out as well as kill off these factories, and that would probably be a really good thing for him. The problem is that he needs to deal with this force now, otherwise all these mechs and energy plants as well as the factories that are over there are going to get crushed. He does have a lot of proxy bases, so again, 1 attack like this isn't too bad on him because it's not the entirety of his base, but it's still pretty bad. Doxes roll over here and they just get stomped to death. I don't blame them. And push over here is going to be able to push out this factory as well as kill off this energy plant and kill off another factory. So Blue's advantage of factories is actually going down as well, simply because that Orange is doing a good job. He's attacking multiple bases and multiple parts of Blue's initial base at the same time, and because of that, he's just raping shit. What he should be going for now is killing off these fabricators, because as we can see, because of the energy shortage that Blue faces, he's not being able to produce the tier 2 factory as fast as he wants to, and he could actually severely hamper it even more so. Oh, he almost got the second fabricator, but now that he got 1 fabricator and was able to completely halt this tier 2 production, it seems like Blue's advantage of the tier 2 factory is going to go to waste. And over here we can see that Orange as well is having the same problem of energy shortages. So both players are facing massive energy shortage because of the attacks that both players have contributed onto themselves and onto each other's opponents. So it's pretty good for them. It's good that they're trading blows. So if one base loses 2 factories, the other base is going to lose 2 factories. So right now the players are actually kind of dead even. One of them definitely had a severe resource advantage, but now because they're attacking each other on multiple fronts, on multiple angles and stuff like that, then the advantages are kind of swing-singing, like back and forth. It's kind of like a seesaw. So it literally is kind of the game in which anything really goes. Right now, these ants are going to be cleaned up by the Doxes. Doxes will outrun ants any time of the day. They are basically the Usain Bolts of the Planetary Annihilation community, so you don't want to mess with them. Now, what Blue should be going for is really to try and push out against Orange's base. We do see a Hornets being built. Now, Hornets are good against mass tank spams simply because that their area of effect damage that they do contribute onto the battlefield is monumentous. Wow, that's not even a word. It's just magnificently destructive. It's just awesome. It's just incredible. It's amazing. I almost said some sort of like Spanglish word, so to speak, which I do learn from in my history class. So that is something to keep in mind when I do make up words. So the Hornets are pretty good against mass spammed units, and they're going to be able to clean up against ants better than Doxes. Basically because ants like to clump up a lot more and they're very slow, whereas Doxes are fast. And although the same effect does apply, you know, area of effect damage does destroy Doxes as easily as it destroys ants, the ants are slower, and because of that, they're able to get hit and affected a lot more by them. So as we can see, Blue is in a very, very bad position. Although Orange was on the back beating stick of the match for the majority of the time, and Blue was definitely at a severe advantage, Blue hasn't been able to really rebuild his base after the initial losses he took from Orange. And although he did hurt Orange, Orange was able to rebuild, and just sparse himself out. Whereas Blue, he hasn't really sparsed himself out too much, which is going to be very bad for him. Also, he's concentrating too much on this tier 2. He should really be focusing on rebuilding his resources. And there we go. Finally, the tier 2 is going to go down as soon as the Doxes decide to actually fire at a target rather than, you know, completely miss. Seems like Blue's base is going to be attacked from all sides. It's basically like an Asian gangbang right now. And Commander goes down. GG! A good game to Mr. BurntCustard, never giving up and never surrendering. And he almost got to use these Hornets. A little bit of a shame. See that the missiles are being dropped. And if these were used against mass units, then things could be very destructive for Mr. Blue over here. But good game to the players. Very, very good game indeed. I do believe that Blue could have actually done better in rebuilding his base, but c'est la vie, c'est la vie. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.